off. Let the games begin.
Let the games begin, indeed. On board 10, there is Vaishali with black facing Karthikeyan. That's one game to keep an eye on, the Indian Derby. But D4, so maybe E4 is a bit easy on him. His opponent chose E4.
And Magnus replied with G6.
G6, D6, isn't it like...
Modern defense.
Oh, actually, I was going to say Magnus has been honing this particular defense against the young Indian talent. You know, I've seen him on the Champions Chess Tour play this against Pragnananda, Gukesh, Aragaisi. He wants them to come forward and then he will just use his positional practice.
After D5, E5 is actually not that bad. Like you go to F5 with the bishop, I'll try to exchange it with knight G3 and such. Maybe it's not that bad, but I don't like the way white's pieces are.
Okay, so if we just go E5 anyhow.
Yeah.
Because I don't like pawn takes pawn, because the knight will jump into the center and I feel like white's position could collapse. So E5.
That's what he's
and then
bishop to G4. Yeah, that's what I was about to suggest. Like, go bishop G4, and after bishop G2, which is very natural, right?
Yep.
I'm not sure if there is... Well, technically knight H4 you could think of.
And Pranesh, as far as I remember, when he was just much younger, he's known as a very quick player. So even though he's facing some unfamiliar position right now, I would say his response is rather quick. I would think longer, especially I'm not sure where to put my pieces. You know? This situation is a little bit unorthodox.
Absolutely. And I want to say that games like this are a nightmare for a chess coach. Because, like, you know, you have your students, beginners, and you tell them, you know, guys, you fight for the center, you develop the pieces, and so on and so on. And they say, but look at Carlsen's game.
Yep.
He moves the knight 3 times, he plays with the pawns, he doesn't care about development, and he wins. Okay, I'm not saying he's going to win this game necessarily, but yeah, so modern chess, very, very concrete, right? But before you can play for exceptions, you still have to know the principles, you have to know the rules. That's the biggest problem.
And, well, this position is quite concrete, though, because the knight is under fire.
Seriously, I'm insisting on knight H4 not being such a terrible move.
I'm thinking the same. So I'm actually expecting Magnus just to go E6 in response to that.
Right, but then after H3, I'll probably force the bishop to trade, right?
Right.
And we don't know yet where he's... is he planning to kind of go back to F5 or just capture on E2? So one thing to say, though, say after E6, H3, and let's imagine bishop E2, despite the fact that the king side is completely blocked, I'm not sure if you're absolutely safe castling kingside with black. Like, not in the nearest future for sure, because, like, say, bishop E2, and bishop H5 always going to be an issue. So it might still be tricky.
Black, meanwhile, does have a straightforward plan of just going C5, knight to D7, C5. And as long as he controls any potential sacrifices, you can live with your king. For instance, you could put your bishop on E7, and one common Caro-Kann thing is to just go king F8 and king to G7, and then have the rook guard the H5 point.
Yeah, secretly I was hoping to scare you out of this position, Jovi, but then yeah, you're a Caro-Kann player,
yeah,
so you're very happy.
Position well.
So you're very happy.
Yeah, absolutely. The light square bishop is off the board. That's all good.
All right, so that was Magnus's, and then Hikaru's game developed quite a bit.
talk us through your emotions of that one, because you mentioned that you got down to 2 seconds, and in breaking news, we actually have to go and take a look at the game between Pranesh and Magnus, because it looks like the players have agreed a draw.
Yeah, this game is way more important.
Yeah, I think they did. Yeah, I think they did. So it's been quite a few amazing resources found by both players.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. No, because it was a fantastic game that Magnus played, managing to sacrifice a rook.
Oh, wow.
With
That's
check.
maybe a theme of this round.
For a drawing attack. But we can continue kind of discussing the emotions that you had with this really exciting game.
Yeah, it was a kind of emotional roller coaster, as is like every chess game I play these days. I really thought I was close to winning, and then I thought I was close to losing, so I'm still kind of cooling down from the adrenaline high. But I'm super curious to analyze this game in depth and take away a lot of lessons.
It was a kind of departure, because we have seen you play earlier on quite solid games, the London system. You applied a variation where you were slightly better, and here it was just all hell broke loose on the board.
Yeah.
Something that you're doing deliberately to kind of mix up the styles so that you can just improve, I guess.
It really depends on the opponent. And I mean, with every opponent I prepare for, I try and get a sense of their style, maybe what positions they're less comfortable with. And against this opponent, I thought that I would go for deeper opening preparation, because I saw in a lot of his games he's mixing things up, and I wasn't expecting him to be so deeply prepared, but it just turned out that we were both deeply prepared in a super sharp variation.